Hi Scrappy friends, and welcome back, and welcome to another episode of Try It Tuesday, where I go out into the creative memories world and I find inspiration and I bring it back here to YouTube and we try to recreate it how they did in the sample. Okay, so here's what I have in store for today. Today we are going to make this beautiful border. I love this border. It uses the new Creative Memories Poinsettia border making cartridge and some beautiful papers. But what I really love about it is very simple and easy to recreate. Okay, so come on back to my desk and I'll show you what we're going to use. We're going to use paper from the seasonal Sightings collection. And a couple of them come from the Tone on Tone pack, and then one comes from the designer paper pack. And then I also have here a piece of cranberry cardstock. So let's go ahead and put this aside, and we are going to bring in our border making system and the new Poinsettia border making cartridge. Okay. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of paper. It's kind of a little bit of an orangey look to it, and it has some orange dots on the other side. And we're going to put this into our tray and punch out a border. The poinsettia is what we call an edge. So we will be cutting this off. So I'll bring in my trimmer. Okay, and for this one, this is actually going to be the base of our border. So we need to give this a 2 3/4 inch trim. Okay, so I'm going to line it up to the 2 3/4 inch line and cut that. Okay, then while we have our system out, let's go ahead and get the second border punched, because we are going to use the same cartridge to punch this out, and it's again the poinsettia. Okay, so we'll Okay, so for this one, we need to trim it to 1.5 inches. So we'll line it up with the 1.5 inch. And when I say line it up, I'm picking the biggest point on the edge, which is not every one, but it's every other one. And I'm lining up that biggest point to the 1.5 inch mark. Okay, so we have those two pieces. And let's do some more trimming while we're here. So we're going to take a piece of this speckled paper, and we need to cut a 3/4 inch off of this paper. So this one is great. This border is great if you have a lot of scraps you're trying to use up. Okay, so 3/4 inch. And then the last paper will be these holly tiled paper, and we need about 1/2 inch. And so I want to make sure that I'm getting in a 1/2 row. Let me bring this in to show you. I want it to look like that, because that's what it looks like in the inspiration border. Actually, it's 5/8 inch, but I'm going to line it up with, here's my cut line on my trimmer is this first line here. So I want to line up this portion with that cut line at the top and the bottom. So I'm going to bring out my guides on the trimmer to make sure that looks good. Okay, here we go. So I got a little bit of red on each side, so I'm happy with that. Put that in our pile. And I think that's all of our cutting. Let's bring in our mat for easy assembly. I'm going to actually assemble it this direction and then turn it before we embellish. So the first thing we want to do is bring in this 3/4 of an inch speckled paper that we cut. I'm going to use repositionable on this just in case I have to move it, but you could use regular as well. Okay, and then I'm going to lay this near the bottom, and I think I want to leave only like 1/8 of an inch showing. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, about 1/8 of an inch. And I'll hold it here and make sure that I'm to the 1/8 of an inch on the other side. And there we go. Okay, and now we'll take our cranberry piece and we're going to adhere it right here on top of the paper, and you just want to align it up so that you could see the three of the flowers from the top row, and you want to make sure that these right here at the bottom are all solid. For example, if I put it up higher, you'll see that now there's some space between it. I don't want any space between it, so I'm going to slide it down. Now to adhere this, I am actually going to get my regular adhesive because this is not going anywhere once it's down. And I already have it in line. Make sure that you're doing it toward the bottom of the border. Okay, so here's where it might get a little bit tricky. Let's go ahead and move this out of our way for a moment because we want to take our gold journaling pen and a ruler, and we want to draw a line right in the middle between the green paper and the red paper. So I'm going to position this ever so carefully and then hold it down in place. And I'm going to use the thinner side, if you can see that. There's a thin side and then there's a thicker side. And I want to use the thinner side. Press this down and hold it and use that as a guide as I just draw straight down the middle of the paper. There we go. That looks really pretty. Yep, I like that a lot. Okay, then our next thing would be take our holly paper and put some repo on the side, the back of that. Then we want to line this up with, let's bring our mat back in for this. We want to line it up with the edge of that gold that we just marked, but basically it's at the end of the cranberry red paper. It's at the edge of that border, and it goes just like that. And we're going to bring back in our pen one more time. Let me turn this at an angle and see if I can do this again. I'm using this T-square so I could line it up and hold it right at the edge. Kind of helps to keep it in place. But you use whatever ruler you're comfortable with. Again, I'm going to use the thinner side. Line this up. Yeah, take off the cap before you line it up. Would help, right? Okay, let's give this a try. I'm going to kind of go on an angle here so I hit the edge of that paper. And there we go. Can you see? If you wanted it a little bit thicker, which I think I do, I'm going to put my ruler back in and I'm going to give it another line. I really want this to show. I like this and I want it to show up a little bit more. So I'm going to give it another little strip. Hopefully these are lined up. Yep. There we go. Much thicker strip this time. Or I guess you could try using your wider tip if you want. Okay, there's a little spot up here that's not. Okay, there we go. And then we'll take our pin and we'll go through the center of each of the poinsettias and give it a little dot. There we go. Cute, 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 cute. Okay. Now let's bring in the embellishments. For this border, they used 1 white poinsettia and 2 red ones. Now, I don't have any more poinsettias that have leaves on them, but if you do, then you would maybe want to use one that down here that has a leaf on it still. And they laid them like that, just so a little bit of the white is showing through. And then they took this Merry Christmas, which is, there we go, Merry Christmas. And I'm pretty sure they did they popped this up onto some foam tape. And then this will go just like that. So I positioned it ever so slightly off to the side so that the white poinsettias are showing behind it and the red ones are, you know, showing at the top and the bottom. And then the Merry Christmas is hanging ever so slightly off of the border. The Merry Christmas is gold foiling, so I know it's kind of hard to see. We'll move it over here. There you go. Now you can see it pretty good. And there we go. That's a simple, easy border. I liked that one. It was pretty easy. I enjoyed using my gold tip pin. I hope that you guys enjoyed that as well. And I hope that you go out and give this one a try. Remember, this is just a formula. We can use this formula for over and over again. Just by using different punches, we can create different designs. It doesn't have to be the poinsettia, but I really love this one and I can't wait to use it on a Christmas layout this year. Okay, well, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video and I hope that you enjoyed it and got some inspiration out of it. Okay, so until next time, take care everyone. Bye-bye.